All right, welcome to the video. Once again, my name is Wade Smith, and in this video, I'm going to be discussing how many submissions there are in Isshinryu Karate, because I'm eventually going to teach some of those submissions, not all of them, because that would take years, but some of those submissions in videos, and I'm going to just name as many of them as I can by name right off the top of my head. I happen to know personally that I learned about 300 submissions in Isshinryu Karate altogether, standing submissions. That's not even counting the stuff on the ground in Isshinryu Karate. Uh, so I'm going to name all of the submissions I can think of that you can do from the standing position or the kneeling position against your opponent right off the top of my head, and I can name about 50 of them if I give it, 30 minutes or an hour thinking about it. But right off the top of my head, you got the front wrist lock, the full wrist lock, the reverse wrist lock, you got the double cross arm wrist lock, you got side arm control with combined striking, you got my own vice submission, you got this thing here, which I don't remember the name of it, but let's see, you got the figure four ankle lock, you got the reverse figure four ankle lock, the Americana, and the what's the other one? I'll think of it in a minute. Let's see. I said the reverse figure four. You can do the figure four leg lock from Ric Flair if you want to, but it's really not that effective. You need your opponent to be totally defeated already before you can put that on somebody, unless they're completely incompetent. You can do the rear naked choke. You can do Becky Lynch's disarmor. You can do the calf crusher. You can do the accolade. You can do the real sleeper hold. The advantage of the real sleeper hold is if you're practicing expert enough at doing it, your opponent is out in 10 or 11 seconds, no matter how good they are at holding their breath. Whereas a regular rear naked choke, which puts the radius across the throat, all right, or a front choke, your opponent might be able to hold their breath for a couple minutes. If they're a really good diver, they might be able to hold their breath for several minutes. So you might not put them unconscious with just a front choke or rear naked choke. But the true sleeper hold will put somebody out in about 10 or 11 seconds flat, no matter how good they are at resisting it. Which is why WCW or WWE no longer uses the real sleeper hold, because they don't want kids doing it on one another. And they no longer use real rear naked chokes on there either, because they don't want kids mimicking it and doing it to one another. But for street self-defense, you might need to know that. You might need to get your first attacker in a headlock, or incidentally, a side headlock is also a good enough submission. I have tapped Gracie Jiu-Jitsu ranked students using only the side headlock, and they tapped out. So it does work. Whereas in WWE, they never finish one another with a side headlock because they never put it on the person correctly to begin with. Then there's, of course, the guillotine choke, reverse guillotine choke, neck breaker, reverse neck breaker, standing back breaker, which I want to demonstrate on here one day. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it with bare hands, but if you had gloves on your hands the day you got attacked, you could even do the mandible claw to somebody, because that really does work. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. You might get bit. Let's see. You got a scarf hold and reverse scarf hold. You got the cross arm breaker, the full arm bar, and the reverse full arm bar. Inside heel hook, outside heel hook, and I got to think of a few more. I mean, I don't even remember what the name of some of them are. Like I said, I got literally 250 of them that I could sit around and think of and remind myself of, that I don't even remember the name of what we called them, because they were only shown like one time in my entire instruction career. But like like I said, they literally taught us at least 50 by name that I can remember if I give myself 30 minutes or an hour to just start remembering. Sometimes whenever I had a car, I don't have a car right now, but whenever I used to own a car, I would be driving down the street and just suddenly think of an Isshinryu submission. And it's like, yeah, I haven't seen that in quite some time, and they don't even allow it in the UFC. But so those are some of the things I intend to eventually teach on on these videos. And so anybody that wants to watch, I would encourage you to go ahead and watch my future videos, as I'm going to have a teaching partner, and hopefully I'm going to have a female teaching partner too. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach the student, and then I'm going to allow the student to beat me up with it, and you're going to laugh that it still works against me, even though I know how to stop it. That it hurts, and it hurts like hell, and it will make you tap out. All right, that's going to be the end of the video, and thanks for watching.